Welcome to the Wine Yogi. I'm your guide, Crystal, and I'm here to help you navigate your way through the wonderful world of wine and all its heady associates, craft beers, spirits, and gourmet foods, with the knowledge of a sommelier, the sometimes calm patience of a yoga instructor, and of course the wacky humor of a former Air Force pilot, stay-at-home mama, and a girl raised in the South. So let's get chatting about wine. Welcome to this episode of the Wine Yogi. So today, as I am coming into Halloween and the beginning of November, I have sat down and created my inspirations for it's become an annual tradition of mine, and that is 30 days of gratitude. And it's a challenge. So we've all seen the plank challenge, wall sit challenge, keto challenge, I don't know, crazy hat day challenge, crazy sock day challenge, whatever your challenges are on social media. And there are tons of them. And I love them, absolutely love doing 30-day challenges. But I have always found that in the month of November, because things start getting a little crazy with whether it's work, and it's going to get crazy for me already because of some short notice changes that have taken place at my two favorite small businesses in the world, the French Kitchen and the Wine Gallery. So I'm going to be working at both quite a bit over the holidays. So November is when I really run the risk of burning the candle at both ends. I forget to show some gratitude and appreciation for all the blessings I have. I can get very snappish, which is ironic given it's Thanksgiving, the season of Thanksgiving rolling into Christmas. And so the last few years, I have purposefully chosen to show gratitude at least once a day. And at first it just started out with a tweet. And now I have definitely evolved it into something that I'm bringing into not only obviously my daily life beyond social media, but to my yoga practice, to my meditations, to my interactions with family and friends, and to just, out in the universe to strangers, because it's amazing what a simple compliment, a smile, a nice gesture can do to lift someone's spirits, especially during this time of year where it's getting darker earlier. People often feel a lot of stress during the holidays if they are estranged from family or there are challenges going on in their life. So many things get amplified this time of year. And I have had feedback from people, especially once I kind of started taking this gratitude challenge, that simple gestures just really made their day. And I tell you what, it makes me a better person to be around. It makes me much happier and appreciative of things. And so I wanted to sit down and just do a very brief and short podcast on what I am planning on doing this year for my 30 Days of Gratitude Challenge. And I'd like to invite you to join me. So there's going to be a couple of places where you will be able to find what I'm doing and what's inspiring me. First of all, you can go and visit my website at iamthewineyogi.com. I will have my inspirations for each day of the month starting on November the 1st. And you can follow along if you would like. You can adapt or change as much as you would like to. It's simply what I'm going to be using as my guide. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I will be posting each of my inspirations, pictures, recipes, favorite books, all of these things that I'm choosing to focus on for my gratitude and appreciation over the course of the month of November. So lots of different places that you can find. I will include links on the thumbnail for this podcast. So if you want to join in, by all means, go ahead and give me a follow on any of those places or check out the website. So let's talk about being grateful, showing appreciation, being thankful. A lot of times we give it a lot of lip service. Thanks are said in passing. It's not really something that we focus on necessarily, especially when dealing with our own inner critics. So often when we beat ourselves up over, man, my house, it's old, it's run down, it's messy, it's not what I want. We tend to really focus and grab onto those negatives instead of taking a moment of appreciation and gratitude for the fact that we have a roof over our head, that we are not living in abject poverty. And I have had the benefit of seeing true poverty. And I know that there are many out there who would argue that, we have homeless on our streets, homeless vets, children going hungry here in the United States. And I'm not denying any of that. That's another topic for a political podcast, not this one. But because of my travels during my Air Force career, I'm here to tell you that we are a very wealthy nation, and that the poorest among us still have options that so many in this world don't have. And I've seen what poverty looks like, and I've looked into the eyes of children who are truly going without meals and don't know where their next meal is coming from. And so finding those things in our life that even if they seem to not be what we want at that moment, trying to find some gratitude and trying to look at it from a different perspective might help you appreciate those things. I know, for example, I just got back from a week in Orlando at Universal Studios, and I'm often my harshest critic when it comes to my weight. I'm very hard on myself when it comes to my physical ability due to back injury, arthritis, hip issues, for what I can do physically in terms of working out, walking for long distances, riding amusement park rides. There are things I can't do anymore, and it upsets me. And then I allow that anger to kind of turn inward, and I beat myself up, and I don't appreciate what I do have. And so spending a week there and seeing people younger than I am who are struggling with weight, who clearly have physical issues, limitations, because they are having to use a scooter, or maybe they've had some type of serious knee injury. And I saw so many people in just enormous braces, knee braces, and other support, crutches and things like that, walking boots. And so it kind of put things into perspective, as it always does, of, so I got all this going on over here in my physical body, but I'm actually doing okay. I'm almost 50. I'm never going to be who I was in my 20s. But for where I'm at in this place, I'm okay. I'm grateful that I can still do what I can do. I'm grateful I can do yoga. I'm grateful that I can go to an amusement park with my family, that I can ride some rides. I can't ride them all, but I can ride, especially they're getting so good with the virtual reality rides and the 3D and 4D. I love those. It's almost like I'm on a roller coaster again. And by the way, little bit of a plug here. If you're going to Universal Studios in Orlando, definitely check out the Jimmy Fallon ride. First of all, they move lots of people through really quickly. And it's Jimmy Fallon's Race Through New York. We rode that, probably a dozen times. But they get you through really quickly, and it's air conditioned. And it's a 4D experience, and it really does make you feel like you're on a roller coaster, but it doesn't. If you have physical limitations, neck injury, back injury, it wasn't bad at all. I could totally sit comfortably through it, but I felt like I was on a roller coaster, so it was really cool. But back to the podcast. I was very grateful that it was air conditioned because it was very hot. But gratitude is something that I really feel our society is lacking. I feel we are raising children who are not grateful and thankful and appreciative of all the blessings that they have. I see it all the time. I see kids, trust me, I saw a lot of it at Universal Studios, of children just behaving as if they were entitled. And I'm not talking about small children. I'm talking about teenagers. That sense of entitlement and just a lack of kindness, a lack of appreciation for whether it's the wait staff that are working really hard to get them a meal, or the bus drivers that are having to deal with so many people who are hot and cranky and tired of standing in lines. I was witness to so many human beings of all ages misbehaving and behaving poorly to their fellow human beings. And it was very sad. Instead of showing some appreciation. So one of the things that I always do anytime I'm getting off of a bus or out of a cab, or anytime there is somebody who is providing a service to me, I try to thank them. So I know that's not probably that big of a deal, but I don't think most people show or even say a kind word to the bus driver that's dropping them off at their destination or picking them up. Maybe they're mad because the bus was late, or the bus was crowded, or they had to stand, or they had to wait in line, because I saw that a lot, and it wasn't even busy. But when we fail to acknowledge those around us who are providing service, whether it's to the standard that we want or not, I'm not saying if somebody treats you poorly, you should smile and thank them for treating you poorly, although the irony is rich, and I have done that before too. It was probably a lot of sarcasm in my thanks to those waiters that have done that. But sometimes when we show that kindness to somebody, then they will then reciprocate it to somebody else who needs it. Maybe the bus driver was having a bad day because someone, and I saw this, caused such a fuss and ruckus and accused the bus driver of being racist simply because the bus driver asked everybody to fill in from the back of the bus forward because it was going to be a full bus. That security had to be called, transportation officials had to be called, and this person was absolutely losing their mind. and causing an uproar on a very full standing room only bus. And I felt for both women. It was 2 women. I felt for both of them, because you had someone who was not from this culture accusing somebody of who I think was probably just trying to do their job, but maybe didn't convey it in the kindest way. But both of these ladies were just apoplectic at each other. And it was in front of children. And it was not pleasant, to say the least. And you see that more and more in our society, whether it's on social media with the FUs and the, I hate you and I wish you were dead, people celebrating when human beings not of their political persuasion die, or wishing the death of someone that just because you disagree on politics, you would just wish they would die, or experience an awful physical assault that their children would suffer. I honestly don't understand it. I can't get my mind around that kind of hate and anger. And it stems, I think, a lot from people not wanting to actually, you can say a lot from the comfort of your phone or your computer while you sit in privacy. To say that to somebody's face, although you're starting to see that too. And I was witness to that. I couldn't believe it. I actually had a gentleman, try body checking me in a line at Universal Studios, because I had to lock up a bag and I was trying to catch back up with my husband and son. And this guy was probably 6'5" and had me by at least 100 pounds, if not more. And he tried shoving me out of the way because I was trying to catch up after I had an issue with locking my bag in and the line kept moving. And so I was just trying to get where my husband and son were already at, because I had already waited in that line. It was a 90-minute line. And I had already waited like 45 minutes just to get to where I could lock up my bag. And this gentleman, and I use that term with air quotes, thought it was appropriate to essentially use his physical presence to intimidate me, when my husband and son I am not even lying 5 feet in front of this guy. They should just wait. Make them wait for you. Okay. Fine. Then they're going to block you from getting past them while they wait. Anyway, I just found it very bizarre that was his response. The same thing happened to us later with a family. And of course we let the young man who had to go lock his phone up catch up with his family, because the family was ahead of us in line to begin with. It was just, I don't understand why we are where we're at. And I think a lot of it has to do with, we have forgotten how to appreciate one another. We have forgotten how to show some gratitude to each other. Thank each other for being kind. And when you hold open the door for somebody, people now feel it appropriate to rip you a new one. When you offer to help somebody get their suitcase in the overhead bin, certain elements in our society think it's appropriate to trash you for that. So, I have decided, and I decided this several years ago. I saw it like as a social media post, and I thought, that's a great idea. I'm going to do my plank challenge in January, but for the month of November, because it's Thanksgiving, every day I'm going to find something to be grateful for, and I'm going to release it out into the universe. And if we each do that, even if it's a kind gesture, who knows the butterfly effect that it could have. If every one of us were just to take a moment and show some kindness, even if it's to ourselves, what kind of effect will that have down the line? I know a lot of folks are very hard. I'm super hard on myself, but I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends that are super hard on themselves. And they beat themselves up. They take everything to heart, every criticism. They internalize it and they just allow it to eat away with them to the point that they become anxious, nervous, always worried, stressed. And then that butterfly effect begins to trickle out into their relationships. And then those people will then begin to take that and spread it. So the whole point of this is to do the opposite. We're all about releasing some positive vibes, some positive energy, some kindness, appreciation, love, gratitude every single day, so that beginning with ourselves, it will trickle into those close relationships that we have within our family, spread out to our friends, and then move out to their friends, and eventually just out into the greater community and greater universe. So a lot of the suggestions and prompts that I've come up with, and again, you can find those at my website, IamTheWineYogi.com, or follow me on Instagram at IamTheWineYogi, or you can follow me on Twitter and at Facebook, The Wine Yogi. And I also have a YouTube page, The Wine Yogi. So you can find those prompts every day, because I will be posting them every single day with the hashtag 30 Days of Gratitude. And I'm telling you, it will make your November and your Thanksgiving amazing. Some of the things that I'm going to be focusing on, as I said, they're going to be personal and internal to me. So one aspect of my health that I'm grateful for, or a special talent that I have that I'm proud of and that I like to share because it brings joy. I'm a really good cook, for example. So I already know what I'm going to say. I'm a good cook. I'm proud of that. And I am using that special gift and talent to help others, either with meal preparation or enjoy a nice meal with family. But I'm using that special talent to bring joy to others. Then I'm going to also have some prompts that are focused on those relationships. Favorite childhood memory, favorite family moment, family game, activity. I'm going to post a picture of me with my friends at a fun time where there's a lot of laughter. And then I'm also going to focus on, during this month, of things that are inspiring, whether it's a book, a song, a mentor or teacher. And I want to make sure that when I am, sharing each of these moments of gratitude, that I'm connecting with those people. So it's beyond just, well, back in the 10th grade, Mrs. Shalowski, who was my Algebra 2 teacher, she was, really good at this. Well, I'm actually going to reach out to Mrs. Shalowski, and I'm going to thank her for being a great teacher, for being devoted to her students and her profession and wanting us to understand math. I wish I could reach out to my favorite teacher. He's not on social media, but if I could, I would certainly give a shout out to Mr. Parker. But I also have mentors that I will be connecting with and sending private notes to. And I encourage you, same thing. So like several of them are, maybe just call a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. And if calling's not a comfortable thing, shoot them a text, send them a private message on Facebook, whatever it is. Or if you have a friend that maybe is struggling, maybe they've had a recent loss, maybe it's the loss of a pet or family member, or maybe they're just going through a hard time. Just reaching out and saying, hey man, I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. I'm holding space for you. And I'm just hoping things, will be okay. And if there's anything I can do let me know. And there's several people in my life that I plan on doing that. And while who knows if it will have any impact at all, I don't know. But if I can just make one person feel better each day with a joke, a smile, a kind word, paying for their Starbucks order when I'm in the drive-thru ahead of them. If I can just do one simple thing, it will, I think, help lift all of us. I don't know, might be kind of naive, but I think that's one of the things we're missing in our world today, thanks to the internet and social media. We've lost that innocence. It's so easy now to worry about things beyond our control. Our children are dealing with levels of anxiety and anguish, mental health issues, drug addiction issues, social media addiction issues, bullying, etc. I mean, there's just so much. And it's not just young people, it's not just kids that are dealing with these things. So let's use that social media for some positive vibes, positive energy. Let's put some positive juju out there. Let's get something happy, uplifting, something that brings us back to appreciating one another as fellow human beings. And so I hope you will join me in this 30 days of gratitude. And if not, if you think about it maybe once or twice, take a moment, show some appreciation to those close to you in your own life, or maybe even just to yourself. For whatever it is, big or small, it doesn't matter. Find those things that you are most appreciative of. Give thanks and just release that happiness and that joy out into the universe. It will come back to you. Trust me on that. So that's going to wrap up this episode of the Wine Yogi. I will be publishing another episode here probably at the end of this week, because I do have a very important food review. It's not only food, but a drink review from the Harry Potter world of wizardry, Hogsmeade, all of that. You know, I just spent a week there. I did drink butterbeer, fire whiskey, all of the above. So I got some Harry Potter things to talk about. We had a blast. I don't know how people go there in the summertime, though. My God, it was hot. And the crowd on our last day there was, okay, yeah, I'd had enough. So I was glad we were there when there wasn't very many people. But I will be doing a podcast on my experience at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure. So please make sure you check that one out. And until next time, be grateful, be kind, release all that loving energy out into the universe. But be sure to save a little bit for yourself too. So cheers and namaste. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Wine Yogi. To hear more episodes from this podcast or other podcasts at the Ladies Chit Chat Club, please be sure to check us out at ladieschitchatclub.com. You can also find us on the iHeartRadio app, iTunes, and Spotify. Ladies Chit Chat Club also now has its own app, so be sure to go and download it to your phone today. Until next time, cheers and namaste.